All right, welcome everybody. 2026, January 5th. Thank you. If you're watching this, thank you so much for your viewership. If you're a first-time viewer or a subscriber that's viewed many videos, I really appreciate it. My team does as well, and we look forward to creating more useful content for you moving into this year. And we're going to start with an email I got from 12 minutes ago. And this is because my team, the DDM team, the difference makers, they still use this on a day-to-day basis. So what does it mean for auto dealers? What should we do instead? And is anything applicable to help us get more cars to sell more vehicles? Welcome back, everybody. David Feldman-Makrias, transitioning from call ads to responsive search ads with call assets in Google Ads. So what are call ads? Let's first take a little look-ski at a definition. And what are call ads in Google Ads? And I spelled ads incorrectly. Nobody's perfect, everybody. And I'm diving deeper into AI mode and some really interesting news coming soon for just AI mode. I'll get into that in another video, but essentially, Google's core algorithm just updated. It was a biggie. Updated in December and it finished. And one of the recent news items has to do with what Google search is going to look like, what the future is. So we'll talk about that in a different video. Today, we're just going to talk about call ads. So in Google Ads, call ads, formerly called call-only ads, are search advertisements designed specifically to drive phone calls to your business rather than website traffic. So you guessed it. It looks like a search ad, but it's really only available on mobile devices because what? When you click the hyperlink, you go and call somebody. Let's see if this has an example. I'd like an example call-only ad to show viewers, please. Spelled viewers wrong. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what Google's AI mode comes up with. Yeah, this is perfect. So right there, SOM Auto, somaauto.com. Call 800-830-0660. Soma Auto. Call now for a free quote. Get a free car insurance quote today. Compare rates and save when you switch to Soma Auto. And I mean, this is an auto insurance, but it's applicable with any ad. So basically, we can choose, or we used to be able to choose, keywords for a search campaign. But the idea was for only people to call. This was really good for like immediate response type of businesses. Like if you're a tow truck and if you're in need of a tow truck and you need towing, boom, call only ads pretty good. But we also found it to work pretty well for certain sales and for used cars and different things like that. I mean, call ads, they do generate calls, right? And you can control to some degree what type of search intent you get with this call only ad. That's what it looked like. It would show up on mobile only. And, let's see if I have another one. Yep, sample company, call blah, 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 blah. Your ad, call only campaigns get you more business. You have the big call button, so on and so forth. So that's the type of item that we're talking about. Ooh, this one looks like it explains it a lot better. Integris, whatever. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Let's look here. This kind of explains the difference, and I like this. I should probably have a different search result page for all the different type of auto ads. So here's call only, and then this is search, right? So these two are call only ads, indicated only on mobile with the call, and then you have your normal search ad, just blue hyperlinks, no call, no phone number, right? So again, good for repair. I've used it for sales in the past. I use it to generate phone calls on used cars, which actually turns out pretty good. So, yeah. So what's the change, right? Let's go back to the email. Now that we know what that is, what's the change? So it says transition from call ads to responsive search ads with call assets. Dear advertiser, okay, I got this 12 minutes ago, guys, right off the presses. Dear advertisers, call only ads, are being deprecated. Aww. To continue generating valuable phone call leads, you'll need to transition to using call assets in responsive search ads. What's changing? Call ads are being replaced by responsive search ads with call assets. Responsive search ads use Google AI to ensure your ads match users' needs while also highlighting your brand's unique attributes by providing multiple headlines and descriptions. RSAs automatically test various combinations to identify those most likely to perform for a given search query and user. This is true for many of your business goals, and calls are no different. Key dates, February 2026. All options to create a new call-only ad will be removed. February 2027. All existing call-only ads will stop receiving impressions. Interesting. Okay. All existing call-only ads will stop receiving impressions. So they're deprecating it. So essentially, they're getting rid of call-only ads. RSAs are just Google's way of saying, you know, that's essentially these. They're search ads, responsive search ads. And adding what's called a call asset is actually best practice in what we already do in our campaigns. So this is essentially saying that Google no longer allows the advertiser to control if they want to show a call-only ad. Google may still show a call-only ad, but it won't do it like it did it before. It's going to choose when to do it based off of the user's intent. Well, that is sad. The more time goes by, especially with AI, the more of our controls are being stripped away, essentially. So you got to make sure your call assets are within your responsive search ads. What does that mean? Well, that's standard operating procedure. Call assets years ago used to be called call extensions, and call extensions were a big part of setting up an ad campaign correctly, especially for car dealers, local businesses, and any business that ran Google Ads that wants phone calls. So let me just show you guys exactly what that would look like, so you know. All right, so for business as usual, I went to a live Google Ads account. I am blurring out some of the ads just to protect the client. And what I'm looking at is inside Google Ads. I'm inside what's a classic search campaign or a responsive search campaign, or just a search campaign. It depends on what you call it. I think Google brands it as a search campaign. And essentially what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the ads view. So what we're going to do, since we're clicked into this ad, we're actually going to open this drop down and we're going to click into assets. And I'm going to show you how you can apply a call asset, not call only. Okay, cool. When I click assets, this will pop up and it'll automatically default to all assets. What we're going to do is actually look at this guy right here. That is the call asset, right? So that is essentially what it says. Where is it? Yeah, call assets. Using call assets in responsive search ads. So you'll see this call asset here. That is essentially this guy right here in the interface. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click that. Yes, so essentially what you're going to see is you're going to see a phone number here if you're live inside your Google Ads interface, and you should see either a number that you're familiar with or a number that perhaps is a dynamic number inserted tracking number or a different tracking number. Nevertheless, best practice, what I do when I come in here, I either want to make sure that's the correct phone number or I dial the phone number. I've caught weird things happen. So, and my team has too. So with that being said, that's exactly what you should look at. That's where the call asset lives. And I usually notice this level here. When you put it at the account level, that's our standard operating procedure. When you put it at what's called the account level will do what? It'll actually apply the phone number to all the different ads throughout the account. And I don't have any data to support that if you put it at a different level, it performs differently. The only reason I think you would need to do that is if you wanted certain ads to use certain call tracking, like maybe you want service call tracking, like the service campaigns to use a different phone number than the sales campaigns. That would be one instance where I would use different phone numbers, and then you wouldn't set it at the account level. But most standard operating procedures that I come across for dealers is essentially we use it at the account level. So if you have this, you should be all set. But again, that's why I'm a little bit disappointed, because that's been standard operating procedure for a long time. This just keeps reiterating. It keeps reiterating Google's control. Google is allowing the advertiser to do, in my opinion, less and less of what they used to allow us to do. And that's just the way Google's rolling. And I get it. It's just sad, right? I get it, because Google eventually is going to turn, in my opinion, Google's eventually going to turn Google search into Google AI mode. I just think it's coming. It's just a better experience. I don't know how the ad platform is going to shift in there. I mean, Google survives off of ad dollars, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they maintain share, especially with the competitors like ChatGPT. But I still think it'll be relevant. It'll still be relevant for a while, and people still know to go to Google. So this is just Google's way of restricting advertisers' ability to control certain things and leaning more to AI. So I would recommend that, if your ad company if you're concerned if your ad company is using call assets correctly, share this email with them, share this video with them. Make sure they show you exactly where they're using the right phone call assets. It's pretty standard, like best practice. So you definitely want to make sure you use it this way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So short video. We're going to have a lot more fun stuff coming this year. We're going to have exactly what our plan is to roll out for 2026. We've actually had about 3 or 4 case studies that we've been working on for the past 4 or 5 months that have shown some really exuberant findings and a way to really make the difference and sell more cars and sustainably do it. Because some things we've been working on, not just in the paid ad space, but the actual answer engines and search engine space as a whole, have been really making the difference indirectly by lowering costs of ads and allowing us to get more clicks for the money, thus more leads, thus capturing more market share and selling more cars. There's some pretty cool stuff. If you're interested, comment me. Would love to hear from you. I'm also available on LinkedIn. If you want to know myself or any of the other difference makers, feel free to comment them as well. So, hey, thank you so much, everybody. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in more videos. David Feldman-Makrias, and we'll see you really soon.